We have had an incredible fall so far. It's been sunny and warm pretty much all of October, which is kind of unseasonal. It normally is wet and kind of cold, and how it looks right now, and it's actually snowing right now. So first week in November, snow. I'm actually on my way down to Spokane. I'm bringing Roger with me, and I'm meeting Jean-Martin Fortier down there. We are speaking at the farm, or the Food and Farm Expo down there, and it looks like all my events are sold out, but there might still be some room in JM's events. I'm not sure, I hope so. But JM and I are going to be making a big announcement while we're down there. We are going to be collaborating on a big project that I won't say much more than that, but I'll say that him and I will be shooting a video down there and announcing what this big project is, so stay tuned for that. Right now, I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of a farm update of what's happening at the moment. We have gone ahead and changed the poly, the inner poly on this greenhouse, and it was a real pain in the butt to do because mistake I made. I'm sharing it with you so you can not make the same mistake, but when I did this greenhouse last year as a double layer poly system with the blower, I bought 2 of the same layers of poly, which was a mistake. You've got, when you want to do a double layer poly, like the one in my nursery here, I'll show you, there's 2 different types of poly you can use. There's one that is a 6 mil poly. Well, they're all 6 mil poly, and oh, my glasses are fogging up. They're all 6 mil poly. People say, hey Curtis, can I use greenhouse plastic? Can I use plastic from Lowe's or Home Depot? No, you can't. You have to buy specific greenhouse poly. You buy that from agricultural supply stores. Not hard to find, just dig around. You can't buy crappy plastic from Home Depot. It doesn't work. Anyways, for people in the know, that is nothing new. But the mistake I made on the other one is that I bought 2 of the same layers. So if you're gonna do a double layer poly, it's suggested that you do, the outside layer is called just a UV poly, a standard 6 mil poly, and the inside layer, they suggest you use a product called IRAD, I-R-A-D. Don't know what that means, but what it does, it has some kind of chemical on there that repels condensation. And I didn't do it for the other greenhouse. I made a stupid mistake by not just paying for it up front. I thought I could get away with not using it, which was totally stupid. I wouldn't do that again. But it's part of the problem, the reason why we've had so much condensation in this greenhouse. And we believe that that condensation, the high amount of condensation, has caused our crops to look very light green and also be a little bit lanky, so it's kind of stifled the growth. So Mark and I went through the process of peeling off the layers of poly, but I wanted to keep my UV poly. I didn't want to buy a new one for there, which made some challenges. You know, in retrospect, I probably just should have said, scrap the whole thing and just buy 2 new layers. But anyways, we didn't. We pulled the top layer off. We unchanneled it all around the greenhouse except on one place. We kept it channeled in here because I wanted to keep it in place, because it's really hard to line up a whole sheet of poly once you've completely removed it. So this way it was kind of like opening a book. We pulled it back, then we cut the inside layer, then unchanneled it, pulled it off, then rolled the new layer of IRAD poly across the greenhouse, which was a little bit sketchy. I had to make myself a little wooden bridge to walk along the trusses of here. Unraveled it, got it down, channeled it all along the ends, the side there and there, and then while keeping the top layer from the original one in place, we had to pull it over and connect it, and it was a little bit tricky because we had to shift it around a little bit. It ended up working out in the end. So we've got both the layers in place. Right now we've got our IRAD layer on the inside here, and so far so good. So what Mark is doing right now is the other thing we're going to do here is switch up the blower. So our blower has also been causing, I believe that our blower is part of the reason there's been too much condensation in this greenhouse, is because it's been pulling air from the inside, which is warm and moist, and pushing it between the two layers, and that's creating condensation between them, and that's also part of the reason why it's been cloudy in here per se, and why things are really light green. So our hope is that by now channeling it from, or pulling the air from outside, it'll be pulling cool air that is more dry and not humid air that's in here to go between, thus less condensation. So it's sort of a twofold strategy. One is the IRAD poly that has an anti-condensation chemical in it, as well as pulling the air from outside, which is more dry. So right now, Mark's just kind of mounting up this thing on the outside. I'll kind of show you what that is. We've just got like a fresh air intake from a home mounted up there. He's framed it in, channel locked it in, which is great, and then he's just going to hook up a tube and tape it to that blower in there. So now the air from the blower will pull from the outside air. And the reason we put it on the end of the greenhouse here is because there's no snow shedding down here, whereas on here in the winter time there's snow constantly shedding down here. And so if we had this intake down here or beneath where the blower is, it could cause a lot of problems. So we're kind of moving it around a little bit to so that we can have the intake here.
So this is how the 3-inch fits in. I just taped it all on the inside.
So that's the intake.
Cover the gap.
And then that's just gonna, that tube's just gonna come down in here, and we'll kind of just tape it around, I guess.
Not too pretty, but
it works. Yeah. All right, so we've got that all sorted out. Air is filling up in the greenhouse. That is done and dusted. So that's it for today's vlog. I'm gonna hit the road tomorrow and head down to Spokane. So I'm looking forward to seeing a bunch of you guys there. All my talks are sold out, so that's cool. I'll be hanging out with my buddies Jean-Martin Fortier and Roger, so get to hang out with some of you guys down there. But I wanted to make two quick announcements regarding my website. Those of you in New Zealand who have been trying to purchase tickets, you may have noticed that my website was trying to charge you US dollars. That was a mistake. Those of you who have purchased, I have reimbursed you the difference in, it's supposed to charge in Canadian dollars, which is significantly cheaper than New Zealand dollars. So my apologies there. Anybody who's purchased a ticket has been reimbursed or will be shortly. So if you were noticing that was weird before, don't hesitate now. It should be sorted out now. Second thing is, a lot of people have been asking me about t-shirts. I made t-shirts available a little while ago, had some technical difficulties. I was trying to use a plugin through printful.com in the WooCommerce part of my website. Technical stuff, I know. I have since changed it, so now if you go to purchase a t-shirt on my website, it'll take you to a site called Teespring. So you just go to my website, go to store or wherever you buy the book, and then there'll be a drop down menu that says apparel. Click on that, it'll take you to another page, but you can order shirts through there. They're actually cheaper, and it is working better so far than the other one. So apologies to those of you who tried to get a t-shirt before and might have had some problems. So that's all sorted out now. I'm gonna pack up, hit the road. I'll see you guys later.